Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're having a good Wednesday, May 21st. Well, we're going to review some 0-day SPY trades today. Our small account challenge just got reset yesterday. Today's SPY grabbed liquidity from like a week and a half's worth of liquidity. So we had a big move. It only took about an hour. So let's get into it. Another crappy morning. Just small range of chop. And then the volume and the big move came afternoon. I have company, so I was trying to get my trades done in the morning, which I did. And so I missed. Well, we'll go over that. But firstly, morning moves. I think I'm slightly red today, but I'm totally content with it. I stuck to my rules, got my stops. I could have been a little bit green, but yeah, that's not really my plan, I guess, for this account and this strategy, because yeah, I'm not trading with a bunch of money, so yeah, a small green day is just so small in this account. I'm more trying to catch the larger moves on larger time frame that are happening on a daily basis, but not every day. But they can happen intraday, like they did today. I just wasn't around for it. So that's kind of the strategy with the small account. And as it's a bigger account, you're trading with larger amounts, then sure, you can just, take more profits and not try and hold for a bigger move. But that's all to be said, that I'm still respecting stops, and I'm, exercising good risk management. So anyways, 10-12 puts on SPY was my first trade. So yeah, just sat through all this junk, and I didn't have this green one chart at that point. So got puts here. Basically, well, this was actually super annoying. I was about to get calls here on the break of this red, and came up, and then I was waiting for it to break this red and like hold above it, which you don't always get that for a little inverse head and shoulder grab. And I'd identified this red one at that point, as well as this gold one. Yeah, gold one too. So anyways, this was a news candle, and it just went too fast, and so I missed that. Otherwise, this would have been a nice trade. I probably would have been satisfied after that, really. I missed that, so I had to keep waiting. In 10-12, again, I didn't have this green one at that point. I just had this white one. So basically, once it broke the white, I had to hit the head and the shoulder here, and so I got into puts right here on this candle. And then sitting here, it's starting to just build liquidity again, and I'm like, well, it could make a little mini head and shoulder over here potentially. So I didn't want to hold through that though, because yeah, this is on 0 days, this is like 30% or more just from here. So anyways, I started to reduce risk, or no, let's see, 10-13. So I actually took profit on the next minute. So on this candle, I got it pretty early on that candle, very early actually. I was gonna get on this one, I got on this one. So in that minute, I took profit, tight range, so very small profit. And then at 10-20, yeah, on that candle, closed out of another one, just reducing some risk, and then 10-21 closed out of my last one. So yeah, I know I did kind of close at the high there. This candle came in here, and that was kind of my last stop for my last one, was it grabbing that, and it ended up just finding resistance there. So wow, okay, so went a little bit higher than I thought I'd like, and so I closed it. But yeah, that trade, it would have been one contract. Oh well. Anyways, noticed of course that then that was resistance, and it didn't grab that liquidity, it rejected it, which is bearish, and still very tight range. A little bit so you can see it's better. Broke my purple here again, and now I'm waiting for it to grab this shoulder and this little mini head and shoulder over here. I think at this point I did have the green charted. But let's see, my next trade, back into puts. So I had enough buying power to buy another one. 1025 back into puts. So yeah, on this candle. Unfortunate that last one if I just held it, but that's okay. Back into puts on this one. And how did this one go? Took first profits at 1026. So somewhere in here. Realistically, I was waiting for bottom or this green to take first profits, ideally, and then low a day to take second, and then one for a runner potentially or a break. And then on the other side, if it failed to stay at least in this red channel, I would be reducing risk. That was the plan at least. So took profits at 1026, and then 1031 broke or sold another one for break even right here on this one. I just didn't like how choppy and how much it was just building liquidity again, and just I don't know. I think what was I thinking there? It hadn't. I think. Oh, I did. I adjusted these. So earlier on, I had the red was a little bit steeper, I think. So now, yeah, that's right. So it had actually broken out of my red, and then I adjusted it after this one because this made it pretty clear it was just slightly less aggressive trajectory. So that's why I stopped out of that one at 1031. And then I had one more, which was a bigger green one. That was at 1034. So it was kind of swingy, little red, little green. So yeah, then I did actually make my my first profit target, which was that green. So held that one for there. This was just so tiresome, these trades in here. I mean, it was like it's just fatiguing mentally to hold through chop and to just be focused. And so yeah, this is very draining. I wish I missed this morning like I have other mornings. And then next trade 1043, I got 2, so I was pretty much out of buying power. Got 2 puts at 1043. And yeah, this one again, no continuation. And this is the one I was kind of holding a little more aggressively, a little longer. So bounced off the green, it came up, and it just was relentless without having continuation. We kind of have an inverse cup here too, with right here. Lower days down here on this blue line. I thought it might want to come up, and actually retested this green almost perfectly right here. After it broke out of it, retested it. Another little head and shoulders is building, so I got it on this candle because it broke the purple. I think, yeah, isn't that where I got it? Yeah, 1043. Got 2 of them. Sold one at 1044. Yeah, so again, first take profit on the green one, and then it did end up coming down lower, but not getting to low of day. So I was holding that last one for low of day, and so I said I'm gonna hold it up until low of day or it breaks this purple. So yep, broke the purple 1055. Oh, I actually held it for up to here. Yeah, for the gold. Like I said, this last one I was like, I'm just gonna try and hold on for it. So this was a red contract. I'll show you guys the trades here real quick. Boom, there they are. You can pause it or whatever. And so tiny red day, which I'm fine with if any of these worked and we had a continuation down to them. Just one of those contracts would have done well. So right here I was a little bit green on the day, and then this one contract I could have closed it, but again, yeah, I was just gonna hold that last one for low of day. So I need to get better on my entries. When it broke this white, yeah, it was just kind of unfortunate that I stopped out of that one. That would have been a nice one just to hold through. I didn't want to hold all 3 if it was going to come all the way back up here and retest that liquidity. So that's why I kind of staggered my stop outs. Then the one here, I just had my channel off a little bit. So that's why that one I stopped out of. That would have been nice. And then, yeah, this one, since it was my final trade, I was just, I guess, greedy, I suppose, on the last contract, which, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not, maybe it's fine. And then I took off. So it broke this gold, which would have been a nice long right here. A little inverse head, shoulder, shoulder. And it didn't complete the inverse cup, so that's bullish. Yeah. And then I put this in later. So yeah, this would have been the entry right here. But I was gone. Came back. Missed all of this. The trade up here, I didn't really chart it, but you've got a nice shoulder here, a little head, grabbing that shoulder right there. And you're waiting for more. This would be kind of a trying to grab the top for a potential retracement trade or a mutual trade, whatever you want to call it, to maybe down here for this resistance for it to bounce, or of course if it keeps going like it did. So if you don't take it there, I didn't really move these lines around at all, but probably this right here, you can see it reacted there too with the volume. So broke that final green one here, and then it came up and retested it. So somewhere in there on the break or on the retest, that would have been a nice trade, and then it would have been confirmed a little bit with that volume, but or even here after it broke this. Let's see, made that head and shoulders if you missed it. I think 5-day was around here, but once you have that red one charted, if it comes up and retests it perfectly, you can always jump in on the retest. A little aggressive, potentially, yeah. I'm just hypothetically speaking here, so little kind of, yeah, I don't really do that necessarily at the end of the day, because it's like, oh, it's hindsight trading. So kind of just, I'm not sure if I would have actually caught this move. I'm just going through my head where I could have entered, where I potentially would have, maybe here, maybe here. If I missed those two, I probably wouldn't have caught this trade, which is fine. Anyways, got back over here, did a couple trades on the big account down here, which are red. The movements were much larger, so kind of ugly. Yeah, it was just pretty chop grindy for the most part. The only trade I really see now is this breaking this green, this final green right here, and then retesting it. So this was just an ugly handle. I was waiting to get in for a nicer handle, but it was just an ugly one. So here's your inverse cup that completed, and then this was the little handle. I was hoping this is going to be a shoulder, and we're going to bounce up, make a nice, sprout a nice little head out of there that I could gotten puts on, but it just made a little choppy, grindy handle and then flush. So this would have been a little trade, and then yeah, that was it. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money. Sticks around. Peace out.